All right, what's up? Lunch break lifter back again with another workout. Today was upper A. So we start off with 5 sets of bench press, and today I want to talk about something. Again, I try not to talk about anything that I'm not guilty of or directly have experience with. So today I want to talk about not overdoing the bulk. That is something I know other people fall prey to, especially dudes in the gym trying to put on muscle and get strong. So this was 230 bench press today, going for 5 sets of 3. On the 5th set I got 4, so I was happy about that. I'll probably repeat this weight again. It moved pretty well, but no point in rushing it. So let's talk about not overdoing the bulk. So in the lifting fitness world, typically when you are talking about diet, you're either in kind of 2 modes. One is getting muscle, and the other is losing fat. And there's a lot of debate back and forth about whether or not doing both at the same time is possible. I'm not going to talk about that today. Today I want to specifically talk about if you are just primarily focused on gaining muscle, you're okay eating in a bit of a caloric surplus and focusing on gaining muscle, knowing that a tiny bit of fat will probably come with that. But one trap to fall into there is overdoing it. And I know I did this when I first started lifting. And if you're watching, next exercise is weighted pull-ups. Neutral close grip feels great on all my joints. We were doing 5 sets with 42.5 pounds hanging from the waist. So not overdoing the bulk. I would at various times go into phases where I said gaining muscle and getting stronger is the only thing that matters. So I'm going to lift heavy and lift hard, and I'm just going to let my diet be just complete and utter, all out, just eat everything in sight. Try to eat a lot of protein, but then also just eat everything in sight. And what happens is dudes just love that freedom and the mental commitment to just, all right, gaining muscle at any price, or that's the only thing that's important. So like the diet doesn't matter. I'm just going to eat and get huge. And here's the thing. You will get a lot stronger doing that. However, it's important to be honest and recognize if you're just using it as an excuse to eat poorly and overeat, because I know that's what it was for me. If you are training hard and want to build muscle, you need to eat a lot of protein, and you need to eat enough to fuel that training and recover. But that is not stuffing your face and getting really fat. Getting really, really fat is not helpful. It's not going to help you gain strength any faster. It's not going to help you gain muscle any faster. It's just going to cause you to carry a large amount of adipose tissue that you're then going to have to lose later on if you don't want to be kind of fat and want to be healthy. So, number of ways to approach this. I've never been a huge fan of calorie counting. I think it's, again, this is a personality thing, but it's a little too easy to start becoming kind of obsessive with it. And this is something where you just have to know yourself. I just know, like, when I try to do stuff like that, I become way too obsessive with it. And for me, what's always worked is you just try to eat in a routine and then monitor progress over time. So, like, generally structure a diet. I try to eat the same things when it's really convenient, like breakfast and lunch and a lot of dinners. And you just kind of get the portion control there, and then just monitor it over time. So like you have your breakfast, like for example, I do cottage cheese eggs, oatmeal, blueberries. I do weigh it. I don't calorie count though. I just weigh it so I know that my proportions, or portions rather, proportions. So I know that they're consistent. I'm not tracking the calories. It's more just like, okay, I'm eating like 60 grams of oats every morning. And then I've done that for months and I'm like, okay, is this making me gain a ton of weight or be really fat or not? And then just adjust. If you find like you are gaining too much adipose tissue, you're starting to get kind of puffy, just bump it down to 50. Like, make these small adjustments and don't try to over optimize anything. But again, the main topic here is you really just don't need to gain a ton of fat to gain muscle and get stronger. It's just unnecessary. And don't in your mind say, all right, I'm bulking so now I can eat whatever I want and just and be unhealthy. You don't want to be unhealthy, okay? You're not a professional strongman. You're not a professional bodybuilder. You're not even ever going to compete in bodybuilding, let's be honest. You're just a dude trying to lift weights and be healthy, gain some muscle, look good. Like, this is a hobby. It's for fun. If you start turning it into a chore or turning it into this obsession, what's the point? The whole point is to be healthy and have fun. And it's just unnecessary. I'm speaking from experience. I've done it. I've decided, I'm going to get strong. I'm going to get huge. So I just pizza, candy, and you convince yourself while you're eating it, this is all going to my muscle, bro. And you turn around after doing that for 3 to 6 months and you look in the mirror and you've gotten stronger, which is great. And it feels great. But you're fat and you're fluffy and it's not good and it's just unnecessary. That's what it really comes down to at the end of the day, and what I'm trying to say is it's just unnecessary to do. It's not gaining anything, it's just a mental excuse to not be healthy. So really my point is, if your goal is to gain muscle, eat healthy, eat a lot of protein, and don't use it as an excuse to eat foods that are just objectively not good for you. Moderation is still key. And just generally, try to eat a reasonable amount and get enough protein. And if your lift stall, bump the food up a tiny bit if you're not getting fat too. Don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. And don't, especially as a beginner, immediately try to live a regimented, crazy, tracking every macro, tracking every gram of food that goes in your body. That stuff is for pros. That stuff is for people getting on stage or competing in something at a serious level. It's just, if you enjoy it, go for it, but you're just going to quickly find that this is becoming more of a drain on your life and detracting from your happiness than adding to it. That's the real thing. Take a step back and be like, am I happier because of this hobby, or is it causing me stress, anxiety? Am I more unhappy than when I started? And if you are, you need to take an honest look and just be like, I need to adjust this and kind of reassess prioritization here. Because it's, at the end of the day, we do this to be healthy. We do this to be confident. We do this to prove to ourselves that we can be consistent at something and watch tangible progress happen on something that takes time and patience. That's why we lift. That's why you should be lifting, honestly. Those core motivators are what are going to keep you doing this for decades, which is what it takes if you're natural and want to build a lot of muscle. So, appreciate it, and have a good rest of your day or evening. Peace.